10 days to go, people. 10 days to go, and the window is shut. Done. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing, people? Do you enjoy these? Do you enjoy the transfer window? Do you people actually enjoy this? Are we going to get this player? Are we not? How much money? We're in for this player. We're not in for this. Listen, the transfer window, for me, is not the most pleasant thing. For some reason, I almost can't wait for it to be over, people. Big up everybody in the chat. I hope everybody is feeling good about our match against Fulham on Sunday. Optimistic? Are you? Is everyone feeling good about Sunday? 10 days and the window is shut. Is everybody feeling good about the squad for the season? Crunch time, people. Time is ticking. Apologies for being late, people. Technology issues. I'm still getting used to this thing, people. On today's show, we have Højlund updates. What's happening with Højlund? 10 days to go. Garnacho updates. What's going on with Garnacho? 10 days to go. Apparently, Andre Santos has been offered to Manchester United as part of the Garnacho deal. We're going to talk about that, people. The midfield situation. I can already see in the chat, you guys are talking about the midfield. The midfield situation. Let's find out what's going on with the midfield. What's happening? Are we going to get a midfielder? Ben Jacobs has been speaking. Laurie Whitwell has been speaking on Kobe Mainoo as a group. We're going to find out what the hell Laurie Whitwell has been talking about. JJ Gabriel, the youngster. How old is he? 14 years old? Apparently, people, he is good enough to train with the full squad. He's good enough to train with the adult squad. 14 years old, JJ Gabriel. We could talk about that if you want to. You also have updates regarding the head of academy for Manchester United. And this Camavinga. This Camavinga rumour just won't go away. Is there something in this Camavinga stuff, people? We've spoken about him yesterday as a group. A lot of us say we like him. We agree that we like him, but I think the chat is saying that he's injury prone. We've all agreed that he's injury prone. I think that's a consensus of the chat, right? But this rumour is still around. It's still around, people. So there's a lot to do. The 4 players that we want out are still here. 10 days to go, people. 10 days. What are United going to plan? Big up the chat, as always. Smash a like on entry. You guys know the deal. Let me pay my respects, as I always do, to the chat, to the people who make this channel. British Bulldog in the chat. Wendell in the chat. Turkish. TK. Big up the people who make the channel. Shivam. Eddie. Big up all of you guys today. Thursday, 1 day away from Friday. Then it's Saturday. Then it's Sunday. The Fulham game, that's going to teach us a lot, people. So big up everybody. Let me see if there's any questions, anything going on in the chat for me to respond to. Wendell. Yeah. British Bulldog. I think you guys are just talking to each other, really. TK's got a prediction. Fulham. Oh, draw, TK. Fulham 1, Man United 1, says TK in the chat. TK. Come on, mate. We're going to win. Come on, TK. I want to shake TK. Come on, TK. We're going to win. Big up, TK. Wendell said, I pray we win. I'm worried about our midfield, especially Ugarte and Casemiro. If United score first, TK's free. Look, predictions already. Let's do a match preview tomorrow, guys. Let's talk about the game tomorrow. We do the squad stuff. We'll see who's fit, who's injured. I think Friday's a decent time to do a match preview. I think we'll stand a better chance for top 4 if we strengthen in those positions, in the midfield position, says Wendell. British Bulldog says, choose timekeeping. Apologies, people. Apologies, man. Technology. I'm trying to... okay, I'm not going to lie to you. What I've been trying to do today is trying to figure out how to get other people to call in. For the past 2 days and tomorrow, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on OBS, all of these things to figure out how I can effectively get someone else to jump in and do a 2-3-man show like everyone else does. That's the next step for the channel. So that's what we've been trying to figure out how to do. There's no, what's what I'm looking for? No one to tell you what to do. There's no manual for this stuff, people. None. It's all like really kept a secret, gate kept almost, I think, how to do all this YouTube stuff. So it's all good, man. Big up Shivam in the chat. Shivam said we're going to bully Fulham. Eddie says, so Højlund want to leave all of a sudden. I'm not convinced. Wendell says we need 2 more signings. I agree. TK says, where's you got to find matching headgear to that beautiful... No, I ain't gonna lie, yeah. You're right. I need a black one. Because this burgundy doesn't match nothing. It's not doing anything, bro. Usually I have a little black headgear, but it's all good. Black and yellow. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. All right, guys, let's jump through it. Let's jump into it. Højlund, Rasmus, or as he pronounces it, Rasmus Højlund. I saw that video today that United released about how to pronounce everybody's name. Anyway, Fabrizio Romano has tweeted, Rasmus Højlund and his camp have made clear to Napoli, RB Leipzig, AC Milan, and all clubs interested that he prefers loan with obligation to buy. Højlund always wanted to stay at Man United, but if he has to leave, he wants to be guaranteed to feel total confidence. Or he wants the move to be guaranteed to feel total confidence. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think that makes sense. I don't know what you guys think about that, but after seeing how ruthless United are, especially with the other guys, and how United are being with him, because United are being also ruthless, he doesn't want to come back after a year's loan, be in no man's land. Man United don't want him. He's still trying to find a club. All of these things. I think he's basically trying to say, listen, if I'm moving away from Man United, I want a permanent move, or at least guaranteed a permanent move after the loan. I don't want to be messed around. All these things. I rate it. I rate it. He's like, okay, cool. I'm leaving, but get me a permanent move. I don't all of this loaning and coming back and all of this stuff. I need my future to be sorted. So in a way, whatever you want to say about Højlund, you know what I think about Højlund as a footballer. I don't rate him that highly, but how he's coming across through the media, he seems decent, if that makes sense. And I rate this stance. I ain't got no problem with this stance at all, people. So, you know. And there's more of an update here as well. Napoli have made new contact with Manchester United today for Højlund, and talks are underway. Højlund's camp also in talks with Napoli as players keen on the move, while also wants guarantees to stay at the club. It's not a simple loan. So we got 10 days, people. Man United want to sell Højlund outright, but the club, don't mind a loan. But the club and Højlund together want a loan with an obligation if they can. That's where we're going. We want, if it has to be a loan, we want certainty that you're going to buy him. Not a Jadon Sancho situation. Not that kind of obligation, a real obligation. And the club have repeatedly, or the message that's coming out of the club is that we've got Sesko and we've got Zaxi. So that's 2 strikers. Plus, we got Cunha, who can also play up front. So essentially, the club are saying we've got 3 strikers that are actually ahead of you, Højlund. They're all 3 of them are ahead of you. So I think Højlund has to leave. We want him to leave. We're forcing him out as a club. And yeah, that's it really. That's it. And also this one I'm reading out to you guys is a Napoli source. And it says that Napoli are moving quickly for Højlund. Initial talks with Manchester United are underway based on a €4 million loan with a €45 million obligation to buy. No overall agreement yet, but work is progressing in this direction. So it looks like, people, this deal might happen. And if it does, it will happen by the end of next week. I mean, it has to. I mean, why am I even giving you guys a time limit or deadline when we've got 10 days left? You know, when someone's going to say, this deal will happen and it will happen in the next 10 days. Well, yeah, Sherlock. Well, yeah, of course it has to. I mean, it has to. So, and also, if you listen to someone like Ben Jacobs, he's basically saying that Højlund has finally come to terms with the fact that he's leaving. He's finally come to terms. I think United have told him exactly what I've said to you about the fact that he's about fourth choice now. He's fourth choice now. That's not me making this up. That's what the club are saying to Højlund. You're fourth choice, and therefore you're not going to get any game time. That is what the club has made it very clear to him. And, you know, he loves the club. He said he loves the club. I think he's a Man United supporter. He doesn't want to leave, but football's a cutthroat business, you know. The ethos, as we all know, guys, that's coming out of the club, the messaging that's coming out from the club is everybody gets 2 years. I mean, Mason Mount has had 2 years and Mason Mount is still here, but that's another story. Everyone gets 2 years, and after 2 years, if you're not showing that you are world-class or could be world-class or anything like that, then United will probably cut their losses on a player. Which leads me straight on to another favourite subject of ours, Garnacho, Alejandro. So, as you guys know, Ben Jacobs has been talking, and he's basically saying that exits are now going to happen really quickly. We've heard this before, though. We've heard this before. However, I have been saying on this channel, and I think most of you kind of agreed, that the exits will happen right at the end of the window. I think most of us have an inkling that clubs are going to come in for our players on the cheap, trying to get them for discounts because we have to sell. And we kind of understood that, thought about that, and I reckon that's what's now going to happen, right? 10 days, people. So let's see what Chelsea are going to do. Let's see what Napoli are going to do. This is just a reiteration of what we know. Garnacho only wants Chelsea. I think it's now coming out that he is a Chelsea fan, apparently. Do United want the window to shut and Garnacho still to be a United player? The answer is an emphatic no. That is Chelsea's tactic. If they wait a little longer, the price will drop. Yeah, I think we already know this, guys. I think we already know Chelsea's tactics. And the players who want to leave, they want to leave, and they've got their own agendas. Self-interest, of course, they're thinking about themselves, not about Manchester United. So I kind of understand this stance. As frustrating as it is for me, and I'm pretty sure for you guys in the chat, I always want to say that I understand the players' stance that want to leave. Not all of them, but some of them. Chelsea will do their thing. I still think Chelsea will come in with a cheeky little 35 plus 10. So with add-ons or something. Well, 35 plus 10 with, yeah, add-ons. I think they'll do that, and I think United will reject it and hold on for about 40 plus 5 maybe. 40 plus 10 maybe. Something along them lines. So we'll see. We'll see. 10 days, people. 10 days. And let me know, guys, what you think of this. First of all, do you guys even rate Andre Santos? How much do you guys know of Andre Santos? But let me know, guys, what you're thinking about this one. If you would go for it. I wouldn't, but let me know if you would. Andre Santos was brought up in the discussions with Manchester United for Alejandro Garnacho. But Chelsea don't want to sell him. United really rate the midfielder. A lot of people talk about Andre Santos, but we haven't really seen him that much for Chelsea. I don't know what people are saying about Andre Santos. Let me see what the chat is saying quickly before we move on. Anyway, scroll up. Eddie Shivam in the house. Shivam says, all right, let me scroll up actually. Yeah. Sancho on loan. Anthony must go. Garnacho leave. I don't think we all see anymore will come in. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'll give you my opinion on the incomings. I don't see a midfielder coming in. I see maybe the goalkeeper, but I'm not sure about the midfielder. But we'll talk about that, guys. We need to push for the final week. Yeah, I agree. Camavinga on loan. Think Baleba will be better signing, says Wendell. Shivam says we should stay far away from Camavinga. Real Madrid only sell players who are injury prone or decline in form. Look at Cass, Varane and more. True. Varane was good for us though. And so to be fair, Varane was good all the way through. And Cass was good for his first 2 years. And Cass is still decent. Cass just doesn't have legs. In a different system, for a different team, and Casemiro not running around as much, he will be okay. Shivam, I bet there is a YouTube search for it. Højlund will have a good season in Italy or Germany. Premier League way too physical for him, says Wendell. About Højlund, for some reason, and I keep saying, I don't think Højlund will have issues. I think the 2 years in the Premier League has changed Højlund, maybe changed his mentality, his approach. I think he'll be all right, Højlund. I think he'll be fine. Wendell Pearson says, I think, yeah, Cunha or Zaxi, if Seska picks up an injury, God forbid. Wiz, I believe they use Streamlabs. All right, British, that's BB saying, yeah, Streamlabs is definitely something. It's all paid for. I'm not monetized. I haven't received zero pennies, £0 for all these streams. I think I get monetized at 500 subscribers. And oh, shame, I get monetized at 1,000 subscribers. So I'm nowhere near getting monetized yet, people, unfortunately. Small channel, man, but you got to start somewhere, people. You know, you got to start somewhere. But yeah, it is Streamlabs. I think I've got Streamlabs. Wendell, yep, but that's not the way. Yeah, don't blame Chelsea. I don't blame Chelsea for sending Sancho back, but now we're sitting with the problem, Wendell. To be fair, they bidded for Sancho. They offered Sancho a contract. They actually wanted him to stay. Sancho rejected the offer because it was too low. I think sometimes people forget that. Sancho's the one player that's had 1 million offers, guys. He's had offers being thrown at him left, right, and center because people rate him as a footballer. He, as a person, I don't know what's wrong with Jadon. I don't understand why he's rejecting all these offers. The only thing I think of is the money. He knows he's not going to get the money anywhere else, and so he's holding on. Yeah, like everyone else is kind of clear what they want. You know what Garnacho only wants Chelsea, Anthony only wants. Everyone else, you kind of know. You've heard from their camp kind of what they want. With Sancho, there's no clarity, bro, with what this guy wants for his life, for his football career at the moment. Wendell says Højlund realised that he must go. Garnacho, Sancho and Anthony will follow suit. I'd rather sell the rest on the cheap in order to get them out. Yeah, I think United, they keep lowering their fee. United just want players gone and to move on. I think most of the fan base just want all those players gone and for us to just move on. I think that's where I'm at. I've got no energy for these players anymore. Shivam says we need at least 45 mil for Garbage. I say Garnacho. Chelsea shit is pathetic. Just pay up and move on, lad. Shivam makes me laugh. Big up Wendell. Yeah, man. Brighton Valley's Baleba at 110 million. Is there no way we can loan with obligation to buy? Yeah, the thing is about Brighton, most of what I'm hearing about Brighton and Baleba is that Brighton haven't said anything about how much they want, and they don't always do that. They let you bid, and then whether it's acceptable or not, or whether it's in the ballpark of what they deem to be acceptable, then they'll start talking to you. I love the people who have said, he's worth 116, or Brighton will take 100 million plus 20. A lot of it's guesswork, but it is what it is. Wendell says 50 million or he wrote at reserves. No more buying Chelsea rejects. I've said that, Wendell. Let's stop shopping in other clubs' dustbins. We're not raccoons. Let's stop being dustbin raiders. Let's get the best for the best. Let's get the Sescos. Let's get the Cunhas. Next summer, let's get the best midfielders now. Let's keep doing this. Let's not go back to getting stopgaps, getting someone's rejects, dustbins. Let's stop doing that. I like what we've done this summer. I would accept no more signings if they keep Garnacho and not play him at all for his entire contract. And they should buy his house. Hey, BB. Sancho is delusional. He needs to go. British Bulldogs, 3 years, he can go home, play FIFA, full pay. I'd be amazing. Santos says, we'll feel like Christmas if Amram comes up with Baleba on the 31st of August. Do you know what, Santos? In my mind, I haven't actually put it past United to, if they can get the money, if they sell Garnacho for whatever, sell Højlund for whatever, I haven't put it past United 2 days to go before the window to do a little Baleba bid. All the noise is saying that they won't do it. Brighton have said no, he's not for sale. And when Brighton and their people, their CEOs and whatnot say no, they mean no. He's not for sale. So, yeah. And plus, the clubs want to keep a good relationships, Man United and Brighton have said no. So we'll see. I wouldn't put it past United, but at the same time, I doubt it. Shivam says, do you think Sancho, Garnacho and Anthony are having a secret WhatsApp group where they discuss how to ruin their career and don't let United earn money? I don't buy into ruined career stuff. Man United fans, will always say that if somebody doesn't play for Man United anymore, it means their career's been ruined. I don't know about ruin. How do you ruin a career? Garnacho, I don't think Garnacho's career is ruined. He's 20 years old. He'll go to another club. He won't be, obviously, he will no longer be a success at United, but he'll go somewhere and he'll get paid and he'll play football and he'll continue to be rich. Same with Anthony. Same with Sancho. So I don't buy into this, your career is ruined because you no longer play for Man United. I mean, look at all the players that have left United and gone on to win trophies and just continue playing football. So, I don't buy into that narrative of the ruining career when you leave United. And I also don't buy into the narrative that they have to leave to get Man United money. They don't owe Man United money. They didn't buy themselves. I always got to remind people that as annoying, as frustrating as these players are, these guys are annoying. The club bought them. This is the club's problem. This is the Glazers' problem. For paying them high wages, for giving them these contracts and all of these things, not the players. And the players have to have self-interest. They have to look out for themselves because the club's not looking out for them right now. So I'm always going to try to balance that. Want these guys the hell out of here, but always try to balance my opinion in a way. TK says players want to go to one team only and try and screw their current club. United should F with the want-aways and say we will sell you to any team except Chelsea or whatever single team they want. Oh, I hear that, TK. I'm a believer that you should work where you want to work and not be forced to work where you don't want to work. I do. But I hear you, TK. Like, a part of me wants that as well. A part of me wants to be like, do you know what? Don't sell them. Let them rot in the reserves. All these things. Then I got to step back a little bit and be like, who does that benefit? I don't know who that benefits. It's just being angry and spiteful. That's all that is. And that's not how you do business. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, Ben Jacobs. I have been listening to Ben Jacobs and these are his quotes. I have tweeted him. Manchester United are actively exploring a midfielder. Yes, we know this. We've been told this. They could put a bid in between now and the end of the window for somebody, but where they found the budget to even explore Baleba comes from the fact that they are looking at the full financial year. So essentially, the gist of this is, and I've kind of thought about this as well. We first of all heard about the, what is it called? The credit facility that we can dip into, right? And pay for stuff. We know about the credit facility. That's fine. But this is essentially saying that we are taking next summer, if we get Baleba this summer, we would be taken from next summer's budget. And we've done this before. United have done this with Ten Hag, where we've moved money around from next summer's budget, and we've given him certain things this summer and told him that next summer the budget will be less. So we've done this before. It goes on to say that they're taking summer 2026. They're saying what if we move a bit of budget forwards with the expectation that maybe Bruno Fernandes goes to Saudi Arabia and for a big fee, maybe Casemiro's wages is taken off the books. So United are also spending money, making assumptions that certain things are going to happen. So I think, what United have done, I think United have spent more money than they actually want to. And I think that they're hoping that the money from the player sales comes back in and replaces the money that they've had to move around. Because we spent how much money we spent? Not actually money going out, because we're only spending, we're paying for Brian and Bumo, 16 million a year. But we have to demonstrate that we have that money, right? We have to demonstrate that we have that money to give them over the full contract. So that money still has to be there somehow, even though we're only paying 16 million a year. So I think we have moved money around, and we are hoping that we get something from these people to put some money back. That's my take on it. I don't know for sure, but according to what Ben Jacobs is saying, it seems as if we've done that. Let's see what the chat is saying. All right, let's go on quickly. Let's read down the rest of the quote. So Saudi, Casemiro taken off the book, so they could put 34. Yep, 2-6, which is probably more a competitive valuation for a player like Højlund and Wharton would naturally be even more. Then that money is coming off Baleba in 12 months' time. So it's a balancing act, and this is why Ruben Amorim, with his input, is saying, go and get me a midfielder right now. Show some ambition in the market and spend next summer's money. So that's what he's saying. He's saying, all right, cool. Get me Baleba now. Spend that money that you have for next year. Spend it now. Get me. Why are you getting midfielder next year? I mean, any manager would say that. If you're a manager and you're told the money's for next year and we're going to get the player next year, of course you're going to be like, no, I want this player now. Of course you are. No manager is going to be like, yeah, I will wait. No, because your job's on the line. You have to win matches as a manager. So you want all the best players at your disposal. So I get why Amorim is like, no. I might not be here next year. And the reason why I might not be here next year is because I might get fired. And the reason why I might get fired is because maybe I don't have that midfielder that I need. And therefore, we're going to lose loads of matches. So he's like, what the hell? Give me that midfielder now. I get that. That makes sense to me. Show some ambition in the market. Spend next summer's money. Let's bring an athlete in the center of the park, because that is a difference maker between this season really taking off and maybe us being a bit more exposed. I've said it many times that he wants an athlete in the middle of the park. He wants someone who can go up and down the pitch, who can tackle, who can do everything. He wants that physical specimen. Hence why we're going for Baleba. That's what he wants. But Jason Wilcox, Christopher Vivell, and ultimately Jim Radcliffe and Omar Barada are all inputting as well, and we'll have to understand if Manchester United can find the profile and finances to make something work, or if they're going to wait for Baleba and go all in 12 months' time. So, a lot of words there. I'm not going to lie, guys. I read out a lot of words there for you. But essentially, people, Manchester United, according to all the news, are meeting again this week to decide what the F we're going to do about the midfield. They do not want to buy a stopgap. They're done with that. Every player that we are buying has been thoroughly researched, scouted, and we want them to be here for a long time, right? So, Baleba is that player. If we're not going to get Baleba and we get someone else and he's not as good, and we have to sell them in again 2 years' time and nobody wants them, and we're in the Garnacho Sancho situation again, then we failed. We failed. So I don't mind United taking their time getting the goalkeeper for the next 10 years. Take your time and get that midfielder for the next 10 years. Take your time, and I don't mind that. I'd rather that, people, than us rushing around with 5 days in the transfer market getting stopgaps and players that we don't want. So it is what it is. Exclusive, a meeting has been scheduled between Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Barada and Wilcox to decide whether United want to pursue an alternative to Carlos Baleba, with Morton, Hulmand, Adam Wharton and Lucien Agome name being mentioned. Amorim prefers Hulmand and he's pushing hard for a midfielder. I'm not going to lie, guys. If you believe that we can get Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace with 10 days of the transfer window to go, I need to smoke what you're smoking. I don't believe that's going to happen. Out of the three, the two that are more likely for me are Agume and Hulmand. I've now seen a lot of Agume, and I'm not going to lie, guys, I don't want Agume. I don't think Agume is quick enough over the grass. But neither is Hulmand. However, Hulmand is a decent passer. He's a good passer of the ball. So the problem I have is we're not going to get Wharton, and Wharton is the best out of those three. And neither Hulmand or Agume, in my opinion, are anywhere near Baleba's level. So it's like, are we going to get some... The way I see this is this. If we get one of these guys, right, that's not Wharton, so we get Hulmand or Agume, if next season we go and get Wharton and Baleba, one of those is going to be on the bench next season. So those two players, Hulmand and Agume, we buy them now, they're going to be bench players for the next 4 or 5 years if we get Adam, Wharton and Baleba. And I don't want Man United to buy bench players. We should be buying players that go straight into the first team, that challenge this first team. That's my opinion anyway. What's the chat saying? TK says we don't have relations with Liverpool City. What's one more? Baleba in, mercy, please. Please, Baleba. Wendell says Garnacho and the rest will fold in next week. Reality will kick in and they will go. Wendell, I hope so. I think so. I don't want, as much as I'm trying to see from the footballer's point of view, and you know me, trying to paint a bigger picture, I don't want Man United to fold. I want Man United to stand their ground. I really do with these players. Wendell says, give them an ultimatum. Either you go by next week or go to reserves. Shivam says, but if players continue to do the same, then we are at the start of this end of football greats. No more dangerous headers, tackles, rivalry or anything. I'll be sad to see it. That's a good point, Shivam. Let me be vindictive. BB. Sell the women's team and buy Baleba and Wharton. Listen, who sold the women's team recently? Was it Palace? Who sold the women's team recently? Was it Villa? Who? Guys, the chat will know. The chat will know. Who sold the women's team recently? Somebody sold the women's team. Yeah, was it Forest? Oh, I can't remember. Wait, Forest don't have a women's team. Bruno won't go. If Sancho hasn't gone in 4 windows, Bruno will be impossible to get rid of. TK said Bruno won't go. Bruno won't go. I think he might go, TK, because I think he was close to going this summer. I don't think you guys understood, yeah, how close, yeah, to going Bruno was this summer. I don't think you guys understood. Bruno's not a Man United fan. He loves the club, but he's not a Man United fan. He will go. I think Bruno will go, you know. I think so. But I get you though, TK. I get what you're saying. Why buy Baleba for 100 million today when you can buy him for 125 million tomorrow? Exactly, TK. Why be smart, right? But I think with the Baleba thing, Brighton have just said he's not for sale, bro. That's what I think. I think Brighton have said, listen, one more year. This year, he's not going. Next year, you can have him. But we just need one more year from him. Just like we did with Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7. We said to Madrid, one more year. And we said to Ronaldo, give us one more year. You're not going this year. You're not. Give us one more year and we'll definitely let you go next year. That's what I think has happened with Baleba. Brighton are just not going to talk to us until next year. But it is what it is, man. There's some news on Stiller as well, says Shivam. We will have competition from a lot of teams for Baleba in 12 months. Says Wendell. Yes, Wendell, that is true. I think the hope for Manchester United is that they've sown the seed. They planted the seed. This whole thing is them getting their heads up. We know this is going to happen. We know a lot of clubs are going to be in for him. I think what Man United are doing is getting that head start. The player wants to come to the club now. He said so. So we're hoping that if Man City and all these other guys come in for him, that he's going to tell them, no, I want to come to Man United. The same way that Mbeumo has said United, same way that Cunha has said United. He's Cameroonian, right? Yes. So he speaks to them. He knows. We're forgetting about all these things, guys. We're forgetting that all these friends that are playing for Man United. We're forgetting that he's a Man United fan. He grew up supporting the club. He wants to come here. We're forgetting these things. So the hope is that one, if another a club in a better position than us comes in for him, he might still say no to them. What we need to do is do our job. We need to make sure we don't finish 15th again, because finishing 15th twice in a row is no longer an anomaly. It is a pattern, and therefore it is serious. We're not going to get players into this club if we finish 15th again. We can tell these players it's a one-off. We're going to go back to the promised land, milk and honey, all these things. Now we can tell them it's a one-off because we've only finished 15th once. If we have another bad season, can we really think we're going to get Baleba? That's the question. That's the question for me. Shivam says, Wendell, Baleba is a boyhood United fan. See, that's exactly what I said, Shivam. It's exactly what I've said, Shivam. And the more we put it out there, when Sesko does his interview, I've always wanted Man United. Cunha does his interview, Man United are the biggest club in the world. People get angry. The Liverpool fans, the Newcastle fans, the Man City fans, they get absolutely angry. How dare this team that finished fucking 15th, yeah, the worst season they've ever had, be attracting these players still just because of their name? Crazy. So it is what it is, people. Wendell says, whatever we're doing forward, please ask Amrin not to play Ugarte. Sensor Alex to do the Walton deal if there's a chance. It's Baleba or no one else. Wendell, you said it's Baleba or no one else. That mentality is similar to a lot of people in Manchester United hierarchy. They don't want to go back to, we can't get Baleba, let's get another Ugarte. We can't get a main target, let's get the second or third target who's nowhere near as good. They don't want to do those things anymore. I understand why the fans are like, just get a midfielder, just get a midfielder, just get a goalkeeper, that's better. But they're like, no, we don't want a goalkeeper that's just better, that's going to take us from 15th to 14th. We want the best goalkeeper in the world that's going to make us win the Champions League in the next 2 years. Let's take our time and do it properly. So I kind of understand Man United's approach, I guess. British Bulldog said, I'll take Douglas Luiz. I'm not going to lie, BB. I would have taken him on loan. I would have. But he's gone to, Where's he? Forest? Where's Douglas Luiz people? He's at Forest now. He's at Forest, isn't he? Yeah. When our outgoings are dominating the United news cycle, we can bet our incomings are done for this window. TK trying to look at the psychology of what's going on. You might have a point, TK. That's why I'm now residing to the fact that we might not actually get another midfielder in. And I'm not overly vexed about that. If this project is 2 or 3 years, and if we get Baleba and Wharton in next year, put it this way, you have a choice. You either get a midfielder now and only can afford Baleba next summer, or don't get a midfielder right now, have enough money to buy both Baleba and Wharton next summer. What are you doing? That's the question. Villa. Yeah, it was Villa. Aston Villa that sold their women's team. Yeah. And Chelsea. BB said Chelsea sold the women's team for 200 mil. 200 mil. I think Chelsea, I'm not gonna lie, BB. Chelsea, listen, I need more Chelsea fines. Because I think Chelsea sold their women's team to another umbrella company that's still, I don't know, they did something weird, BB. They've done something dodgy, and Chelsea are always finding new ways to do things. Yeah, they sold their women's team. I'm looking now, it says they sold their women's team to a consortium that's still part of the group. Chelsea, yeah, they're smart, and the law doesn't say they can't do that. So they're always finding new ways. That's why I can't do Chelsea. I'm not gonna lie, I can't stand Chelsea, bro. They're always finding ways to do things that you think, wait, is this illegal? Then you realize it's not illegal. Then you're thinking, why isn't everyone else doing this? This long contract thing they're doing, buying players and giving them 7-8 year contracts and all of these things. I'm like, hold on a second. Why are they doing this, Chelsea? And why isn't everyone else doing this? And now everyone else has started to do it. Like, Chelsea are that club, bro. Like, don't get me started with Chelsea, bro. Bruno will go. Sancho is one little miserable says Wendell. Tottenham planted a seed for Eze, and what happened? Yeah. Oh, it looks like Villa did the same. Sold it to a consortium. It looks like, yeah, both Villa and Chelsea sold. This is dodgy. Both Villa and Chelsea, I'm reading now, sold their women's team to a consortium that owns Villa and Chelsea. So they essentially sold the team to themselves. Guys, I ain't gonna say nothing else about this. It's very strange, but it's legal. It's allowed. What can we do? But yeah, Tottenham planting a seed for Eze. And look what happened. Yeah, Eze is not a Tottenham fan. Eze doesn't care about Tottenham. Eze just wants to leave Palace. I think Baleba is different. Turkey said Arsenal already had a plum tree full grown before Tottenham even planted a seed. Oh my gosh. That's funny. That's silly. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think we will get Baleba next season. I think this tapping up, all of this stuff, I think we'll get him next summer. I think so. I have faith. Let me put some faith into Wendell. Baleba and Wharton for next season. I'm dreaming of a white crisp. them morning ones, yeah. Wake up in the morning. Shivam says still is here to cruise throne. Yeah, Stiller. Yeah, Stiller is that guy with the let's say he's that footballer with a very interesting nose, right? And a cleft palate, I think, that guy. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Shivam, I've seen a bit of him. Yeah. Yeah, Shivam. I've seen a little bit of that guy and he looks, yeah. That's that. You know when someone can't talk, like, yeah, I've seen him and yeah. Shivam, I've seen this guy play and I'm like, Yeah, there are links, Shivam. We have been linked to him, and he's not somebody I'm going to say no to, Shivam. I'm not going to lie, bro. Yeah. Out of him, Gourmet, and Human, I'm taking him. Shivam, I'm taking him. 100%. Like, it kind of looks like Ben Stiller a little bit. No, I'm joking. He doesn't look like Ben Stiller. Only because they've got the same name. That's such a lame comparison. But I would love for it to be true. There are people, journalists linking us to him. I don't think it will happen. But I would love for it to be true, bro. TK says, if we are 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses after 4 games in, will you guys panic? Because that's my prediction. We draw Fulham, beat Burnley, and lose at City. TK's putting out these questions out there for the chat. TK, my answer to that question is potentially. And I will say it depends on how the games are. It depends on the context. If we play all 4 games, yeah, and we absolutely deserve to win, yeah, absolutely deserve to win all 4 games, but we're just not getting it right and we're not finishing our dinner, then I won't panic as much. It depends on the context of the losses. I know that's a politician's answer, but I'm being honest. Shivam says 30 to 40 million pounds for Stiller. Okay, if he's that much and I've seen enough of him, get him in. Get him in right now. Get him in right now. Anyway, you guys might be interested in this. This is Laurie Whitwell now speaking. And Laurie Whitwell, I think he speaks... Would you say he speaks mostly on behalf of Man United?
He only talks from Man United.
Yeah, he only really speaks when Man United have briefed him. That's from my experience. So let's see what he's got to say, Laurie Whitwell, on Kobbie Mainoo. Since January, it's been reported that Manchester United might not openly. If clubs come to them with offers for Garnacho and Mainoo, they might reluctantly sell. It's been a consistent thing throughout the summer on Mainoo's position. Uncertainty about where he goes at United. Does that lead to an exit? I was told pretty strongly, pretty confidently that he would not be leaving. Although I do think there's been some inquiries or questions about him being at the club beyond this window. What does that mean, people? Can anyone decipher what this guy's talking about? So my view of this from Laurie is there's people who are interested in Kobbie Mainoo. There are reports that if clubs come in for him, we might listen. It doesn't mean that we're going to sell him, but we will be like, okay, how much? We might listen. However, the general consensus is that he's not leaving, and he's not leaving this year. The danger for Kobbie is the fact that he's already been spoken about as somebody potentially leaving at 19 years old. I think that you're 19, you're just starting your Man United career, and they're already discussing you as even the fact that you're even in the discussion for somebody leaving, even if it's just 1%, the idea that you've come up in somebody else's mind about leaving is not a good place for Kobbie to be in. I'm not going to be here and say I worry for Kobbie and all these things, because I don't worry for any footballer. If you're good enough, you'll be here and you'll play. And if we sell Kobbie, we sell Kobbie. But I worry for him in the sense that he will probably need to adapt his game a little bit, in my opinion, or play with somebody who can complement his game. And that's why some of you guys talk about him playing with Baleba. But at the moment, especially when Bruno's here, especially when the manager keeps talking about athlete in the middle of the park. Athlete. Kobbie is not the biggest athlete. And it's a shame, because I got to remind you guys that every club plays football differently. There's the Man Cities right, who don't really need too much athletes. I mean, Bernardo Silva is not an athlete. David Silva is not an athlete. We might play a system that requires you to run around like a blue-eyed fish, right? Not everyone else does. We might play 2 in midfield, and therefore you have to just do the madness, like run around like a dog. But most teams play with a 3-man midfield. So just like Garnacho, we don't play with wingers, so he has to leave because he doesn't fit into any of the positions. We now don't play with a midfield 3. We don't play a certain system which will be good for Kobe. And therefore, people are now questioning where does he fit into this system. And I understand it. Systems are so important. You can have a really good player, but if he doesn't fit your system and you can't find a space for him, what do? You can't keep him just because you like him. You can't keep him just because he's homegrown. I think you should, because we're a bit light on the homegrown quota right now. We're very light, and that's the reason why Luke Shaw and Mason Mounts, as much as we want them to go, they're English. They're English, and we need that quota. But yeah, let's pay attention to Kobe and the minutes he gets this season, guys. With hardly any Champions League, no European football, just the Premier League and the English competitions. Let's see how much minutes this guy gets. TK says, context, we play on par with Fulham, play down to Burnley's level and get plowed by City. TK, if that happens, and you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of the manager. I'm not. And if that happens, then I'm going to have to look at the manager and start asking more questions, if I'm being honest with you guys. Let's move on, people. This is a decent comparison. I always like to look at these little things. You know me, I like data, and I use data to support what I see with my eyes. I always encourage people to do the eye test, people. Do the eye test. Watch the baller. Watch his first touch. Watch how he uses his mirrors. Watch how he passes the ball. Watch how he shoots. Just watch all of these things. And then you get the data. You analyze the data and you see if the data supports your eye test. So, decent data to look at all the midfielders we are linked to. Wharton comes out on top in a lot of these attributes that we're looking at. Yeah, Wharton is not good at carrying the ball. Yeah, Wharton's not a ball carrier. Wharton's not a ball carrier. Wharton's closer to a controlling midfield player than anything. Whereas Agume, DM, Edison, DM, and Hallman's probably closer to Wharton in terms of how he plays. But it's quite interesting that Wharton's forward pass percentage is not that high. It's not that high. So that's quite interesting. But yeah. TK said that the data cycle is flawed comparing leagues. Yeah, that is also a good point. It's very difficult to compare leagues as well. But it's still data. Data's out there. Yeah, it's I don't really pay too much attention to this stuff, to be honest, because even the minutes that Wharton's played, he's played like half the amount of minutes as everyone else. And usually when I look at data, I always try to make the data qualitative and quantifiable rather than just, qualitative data, not just quantitative data. But here we go. We'll move on, people. This is the news I spoke to you guys about at the beginning of the show. JJ Gabriel, 14 years old. He's just been told that he will have some training sessions with the first team this season. Good. We spoke earlier on, maybe a few weeks ago, about pathways. Somebody, was it Fletcher, who's now the head of youth pathways or something? So, and I've always said that we need to do more with our youth. We don't send them out on loan. They're not prepared really for men's football at all. our youth. So the fact that this 14-year-old will be training with the senior side every now and again is good. We have high hopes for JJ Gabriel. Internally, Manchester United really like this guy. They think he's going to be really, really good. So I hope that he absorbs everything he needs to absorb, learns what he needs to learn, and he fulfills his potential, because there's a lot of internal discussions about JJ Gabriel. So good luck. Hopefully this will mean more pathways, more discussions, more youngsters going out on loan, getting development, because at the moment we can't be spending the money we're spending all the time. We need young talents coming through. Always coming through. And every year we usually have one or two, you know, Kobe's, Gomez, and we used to send loads on loan. So we'll see, guys. We'll see what happens with JJ. Let's quickly go before we can wrap up. This is big news, guys. This is big news. Simon Stone is reporting that there's a big appointment for Manchester United. And Jason Wilcox is saying that after an extensive recruitment process, we are delighted to have appointed Stephen at such an exciting time for our academy. Stephen's record of youth development is outstanding. Throughout his career, he has played a significant role in the development of some of the most talented players in the country, including Cole Palmer. Apparently, he was one of the ones who worked closely with Cole Palmer and developed him. We will work closely together to ensure that the academy continues to foster the right environment to nurture our young players individually while developing the best talent ready to excel in our first team. Stephen Torpey, right? So Stephen Torpey, who was Brentford's academy director, is set to replace Nick Cox as head of Manchester United's academy. Torpey is highly rated following his work at Man City, where he helped to develop the likes of Cole Palmer, which I've just said to you, James McAtee, and Rico Lewis. So I'm not gonna lie, guys. If this is the guy who's found, I won't say found those players, but helped develop those players who are now really, really good, bring this guy in. Bring this guy in. So it goes on to say Stephen Torpey will depart Brentford to take up the role of academy director at Man United. Good. Under his leadership, the club regained Category 2 status and reintroduced the under 9 to under 16 age groups. So that's what he did, right, at Brentford. I'm happy about this, guys. This might not be a big deal to a lot of you, but this is a very big deal. A very, very big deal. This might be the biggest news today. By far the biggest news today. I don't think you understand how important it is to nurture our young talent and how we failed a lot of our young talent. And I'm glad that we're taking someone else from Brentford. I'm so happy. I told you guys that I can be a bit, what Brentford did, I want to take everything from Brentford. So if he is responsible for nurturing some talent, if he is responsible for nurturing Cole Palmers and all these guys, bring him in. Bring him in, guys. So this is what Stephen Torpey has said himself. I'm really proud to have this opportunity to lead Manchester United's academy. It is obviously a great time to be joining as the club enters an exciting new era. I can't wait to play my role in continuing the incredible tradition of youth development here. After spending time with the leadership team, it is clear that the academy will always remain key to the identity of Manchester United, with our primary aim being to produce players ready to support a first team capable of challenging for the biggest honours, people. That's what I wanted. Let's now start producing talent, bro. I'm tired of hearing, this guy from the Man City academy, this guy from the Man City's academy. Why two clubs, both in the same city, right? Two clubs, both in the same city. Now, I don't know, walking distance from each other or something. I don't know, whatever. but they're producing separately. So the talent that they're producing from the academy is just vastly different. City have players like Cole Palmer that they don't even want. They can't even get into their team. And who are we producing? But we're in the same city, the same schools, the same young people in Manchester. But for some reason, one club is getting all the good ones across the road, all the good 11, 12-year-olds, and another one is getting all the crap ones. So it doesn't make sense.
He developed Sancho too. He likes Sancho.
Yeah. Does Toby know that he might have Sancho, Garnacho at the academy? That's funny. Yeah, but to be fair, Sancho is one of his developments too. And Sancho, as much as you guys don't like him, he's a baller. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, guys, I think this is really good news. Very underrated news, in my opinion. Adieri, big up Adieri in the chat. Hi, Chosen. How are you? Isak should go to Liverpool now, and Strand Larson and Yona Wissa should sign for £70 million add-ons for Wissa deal for Newcastle United. Now, Ray. I think Isak will go to What's my view on Isak? I think he has to go to Liverpool. I think the deal has to happen. As much as Newcastle we're not selling him. I don't know, guys. I think it will happen. I don't know what you guys are thinking about Isak. And I think, yeah, Newcastle will get Wissa. If Newcastle have any sense, they'll up their bid for Wissa and just get it done very, very quickly, bro. That's what I say. So, yeah. So big up Adieri in the chat. Before we go, new update on Rasmus Højlund from Fabrizio Romano, and he is saying that Man United informed Napoli that they're open to both the loan with option or obligation to buy. Okay, interesting. Preference for obligation, but up to Napoli. Okay. While Rasmus insists on obligation as he wants to feel full confidence for long-term in his future club. There we are. So it's moving closer. Rasmus actually is the one, according to this tweet, he's more pushing for a permanent move. He wants certainty. He doesn't want to be messed around on loan here, on loan there. He wants to play for a club. And he wants a club. Every footballer wants this. Why wouldn't you? You want the club to have full confidence in you and full belief in you. And once, the likes of Garnacho don't feel the club is behind them like that, Sancho, all these guys, it hurts. It hurts. When you get told that you're the best thing since sliced bread 1 minute, I keep saying this, and the next minute you get told you're the shittest thing since doo-doo. It's a mad place to be in mentally for anybody. So he wants certainty, and I fully understand that. 8:30. Let's see what else on the news. All right, guys. Here's a nice little video of Dorgu training that I found for you. I always say, listen, Dorgu, practice your shooting. Nice, Dorgu. I mean, everyone can top bin it in training. But that shot, yeah, that left foot shot from about 30 yards, edge of the box that hit the post, yeah. I was like, okay, Dorgu, you can do something. You can do something. This guy is so fit and strong, bro. If he can improve his end product, if he can, one thing I see about Dorgu that I don't like, that he needs to brush up on, I feel like he rushes things a bit too much. I feel like when he gets the ball, he rushes a bit too much. I want him to have more control about what he's doing. And more end products. I want him to have his head up. I want him to put crosses in the box and improve his shooting. For sure. But I like Dorgu. I think a lot of fans now are coming round, and a lot of fans are becoming more impressed with his performances. He's not the finished article. But I hope he has a good year. I really, really hope he has a good year. TK says Erik ten Hag and the previous regime set Rasmus up for failure. I feel bad for him as a human. Yeah, yeah, I've always said that they set him up for failure. He is a striker who needs a lot of support, a lot of developing, and I don't think we developed him the way we should have. He was supposed to come on, have a game here, have a game there. He was never supposed to be the main guy. He's supposed to be the guy learning from the main guy. And unfortunately, that just never happened. And he was thrusted to being the main guy for Man United. He was not ready, and he should never have been. So in that respect, I understand what TK is saying, But football, it's a cutthroat world, man. It's a cutthroat sport. 2 years, it hasn't done it. A lot of people say he's the worst striker that we've had, the worst main striker that we've had in our history. And it's sad, but when you think about a main striker at Man United, the Coles, the Van Nistelrooys, and all of these guys, even the Martials, he's nowhere near any of them. Technically, he's nowhere near any of them. And for me, it's a shame, but I think Rasmus just lacks a lot of football fundamentals. His first touch isn't great. We all can see how bad his first touch is. We saw him falling over all the time. He's not good at bringing people into play. We can go on and forever about his technical flaws as a footballer, Rasmus. But some of these technical flaws, with direction and with nurturing, we could have improved on them. We could have. We just didn't give him the right development for me. So it is what it is, people. It is what it is. Anyway, big up the chat. Big up everyone. Smash the like on your way in. Smash the like on your way out. Let's just finish off the session today with, who's this? Pellegrini. So this is Pellegrini on Antony, people. And this Antony saga will Antony go to Betis? That's a question for the chat now. Will Antony eventually get his move to Betis by the end of the window? There we go. This is what Manuel Pellegrini is saying, people. I've not spoken with Antony. We all know that he was very good here. We want him with us. And Antony wants to return, no doubt. But we also need Manchester United to make a decision. And I'm thinking, what? One, what do you mean you haven't spoken to Antony? Why would you not speak to him if you want him? And two, Manchester United need to make a decision. No, we've made a decision. You need to make a decision, Real Betis. We've made our decision. Our decision is that he is going and we need 40 M's for him. You now need to make your decision. Are you going to pay up the money? These guys are so cheeky. Betis, yeah, are officially the worst football club to try to negotiate with. It's crazy what they're doing. Man United need to make a decision. What? We're not going for joint ownership of Antony, bro. What decade are you living in? That's not happening. Betis are flipping cheeky. In Jamaica, we will say, you're bright. You're too bright. You're too bossy. You're too bright. You're too bossy. What do you mean? Man United need to make a decision. Nah, bro. That's cheeky talk there. But I don't know, guys. Like I said, the guys that we need to sell, the 4-5 players now, because if Højlund's been added to those 4 players, I don't know what's going to happen with these guys. All I can do is get my popcorn out and observe. See what happens. That's it, people. So there you have it, man. Let me see if there's any more news to report for you guys. Let's see if anything has landed. If anything has been reported while we are live. Let me just look through Twitter quickly to see if any journalists are saying anything right now. I think we're good. I think that's most of the important news. Most of you guys already know that Eze looks like he's going to Arsenal now as well. So, yeah. TK says Betis are jammy dodgers. They're dodgy jammers, more like. They're dodgy jammers, bro. I don't even know how to describe what Betis are doing, bro. It's just so weird. Give us the money or go away. What the hell, man? Let's own the player together. Like, I get why rich people don't want to hang around with poor people sometimes. What?
He was going to play with, they played it, he was not
Oh my gosh. This is crazy, Ben Jacobs. Look at Ben Jacobs, bro. What's this guy doing? Apparently, Eze's come down with a nasty case of gonorrhea overnight. It's silly. That's so silly because obviously Eze is going to Arsenal and he's not playing for Crystal Palace. So Eze for Arsenal. What does that mean for Arsenal? I don't know, guys, if Eze going to Arsenal changes Arsenal that much. I really don't know. I really don't. I got those cookies from the UK. Oh, TK's a Jammy Dodger lover. I ain't gonna lie, TK. I feel like going to my cupboard right now and bringing out some Jammy Dodgers. Because I am a dodgy jammer lover. I don't like too much jam. I ain't gonna lie. But just enough jam. And yeah. I got time for Jammy Dodgers, bro. I got time for them. Not always, though. I can't have loads. I can have like 1 or 2 at a time. But I got time for those, man. So big up the chat. Yeah, we have Reese's Pieces as well. But we know Reese's Pieces is an American chocolate, but we have them over here in the UK. Not in all the shops, but we have enough over here in the UK. And plus, there's loads of little, in here in London, especially in London, TK, there's loads of little Americanized sweet shops that I've set up, like all around London, that have like sell Reese's Pieces and American chocolate as well. So, yeah. It is what it is, people, but that's most of the news. Today we spoke about Højlund. Højlund looks like he is edging closer to an exit. It looks like Napoli. But we will see. Potentially a loan with an obligation to buy. If you're tuning in late, people, or just passing through, we also spoke about Garnacho and his situation. He only wants Chelsea. Nothing's really changed with Garnacho. We're essentially waiting for Chelsea to launch an official bid, and we've been told that Chelsea are about to launch a bid for the last 2 weeks and nothing has happened. We've also been told apparently we've discussed Andre Santos with Chelsea in the Garnacho deal. I very much doubt that will happen, but I've been hearing really good positive things about Santos. He hasn't played much for Chelsea anyway, but would you guys entertain Santos? Let me know your feelings. We spoke about the midfield situation for Man United. Personally, I don't think we will get a midfielder. If we do, I'll be very happy. I don't think United should rush. I think we should be patient and get the midfielder we actually want. We spoke about the fact that we will go in for Baleba next year. That is the plan. Sow the seed, let it grow a little bit, and then next year we take up the fruit. We harvest. That's the word I'm looking for. Harvest. So that's the plan for Manchester United. So let me know what you think about that. Do we need a midfielder now? Now. Can we go the whole season with Ugarte and Casemiro, Bruno and Kobe Mainoo? Let me know, people. Let me know. We also have been told that another meeting, because every day Man United are having meetings. I'm pretty sure Amorim has regular meetings. So the fact that we've been told another meeting is now going to happen and more will be discussed regarding the midfield. Okay, great. I've heard this before. We've all heard this before. So apparently we are meeting again to really hash out the midfield situation and see if we can actually get a midfielder this summer. We also spoke about Kobe Mainoo, where he fits in. Laurie Whitwell quotes have come out speaking about the fact that we have not listened or entertained, but there was an idea that Man United were open to potentially just listen to offers. He's not leaving this summer. That's for sure. He's not going anywhere. But the idea that he could even potentially be for sale in the first place, to me, shows that this is a fork in the road for Kobe. I think Kobe needs to try knock on some doors. Once he gets a chance in the system, he has to ball out. Because Bruno's dominating that spot. We know what this manager's like. He loves Bruno. He will never play Kobe ahead of Bruno, ever. As much as we want to see it, the manager's not going to do it. And it's always interesting to see what manager comes in and changes the system. The system has changed, and the likes of Garnacho, the likes of Kobe, no longer fit. Rashford as well, no longer fit this system. We don't play with wingers or wide forwards. We don't. So there are no wide forwards in our squad anymore. And Bumo is technically a wide forward, but he's playing in the 10 role. So I think it's good to acknowledge when a player has to leave, not because he's not good enough, but because he just simply doesn't fit in with what the manager wants to do. And that could be Kobe's unfortunate end. Who knows? Anyway, we also spoke about JJ Gabriel training with the first team and what that means for him and what that could mean for the academy in the future and how we develop players going on. Spoke about the new head of academy, and we haven't really spoken about the Camavinga rumours because we spoke about that in yesterday's show. And also it's coming from Indicator, and I'm starting to... Okay. Anyway, Camavinga is still rumoured. That unless someone serious says that we're looking at Camavinga, I'm not going to believe it. Big up Jerry in the chat. Why am I always late to the party, Jerry? Jerry, you're just that guy that wants to be fashionably late, so everyone looks at you and everyone sees, yo, that's Jerry. Jerry's coming in the party, and you're the one with a nice suit, looking all good, an hour late and shit. That's Jerry, innit? That's Jerry. Big up Jerry in the chat. Any signings? Come on, Jerry. You know we ain't signing nobody, Jerry. Come on, mate. Come on, mate, Jerry. No signings, Jerry. But apparently we're meeting again to talk about midfield. The goalkeeper thing is still being talked about. We have the money for the goalkeeper, but we just need to know who we're going to get. Because we could still just get a midfielder and no goalkeeper. Or we could get a goalkeeper and no midfielder. It's the allocation of funds at the moment for the priority. So we have 10 days left. We will see. We spoke about Sancho. We mentioned Sancho as part of the players that are supposedly leaving. We didn't really speak in depth about Sancho, Jerry, on the show. What is Sancho? When is Sancho? How is Sancho? We know that already. That's the whole point. Like, it's not clear what he wants to do. Like, everyone else has come out and said exactly what they want to achieve, and Sancho hasn't. So I've been saying this all this time. We don't hear from Sancho's camp, and because we don't hear from Sancho's camp, that void gets filled with all some of it is really nasty stuff about Sancho because we don't hear from him or his camp. That's what happens. So it is what it is. Arsenal winning the league with Eze. Jerry, the question I have to ask is, does Eze turn the needle for Arsenal? I like Eze, but Eze, listen, let's not pretend people Eze is 20, not 27 years old. People talk about Eze like he's 21, 22. He's not. Eze is 27. This is his mature years, and he's still at Palace. Eze is still, for me, not the most consistent footballer. He isn't. So I don't know if Eze turns the needle for Arsenal. I really don't. He's not going to start on the left. Surely not, because that's not his position. He's not going to start ahead of the captain. So I don't know. That's a nice picture, though, to be fair. England squad, England players all playing for Arsenal. I mean, that's good for England that they have so many players playing in one team, building that synergy and that cohesion. So when that can easily be transported to the national team when they play. That's a good thing. I think that some of the best England teams are the England teams that have loads of United and Liverpool players in them because they play football together in the same team. So, Beckham and Scholes, and then you have flipping, Gerrard. I'm trying to think of a Liverpool player. McManaman and all these guys. So it is what it is. Poor Spurs getting turned down again. He plays in Odegaard's position. Yeah, and he'll be a squad player. I can see them maybe trying to use him on the left, but Eze prefers the middle. He prefers the middle. So we'll see, guys. I don't think it moves the needle for Arsenal. I don't think it makes them win the league, but I'm going to demand Arsenal win the league. Like, this is 6-7 years of Arteta. This is the phase 7, phase 6 now. They've got to win the dog. They've got all these things. Every year is an excuse. They allowed Liverpool to walk the title, even though it was theirs for the taking last year. Like, Arsenal are just a joke. They're a joke. So I'm going to demand that they win the title this year. And if they don't, Arteta has to go, in my humble opinion. Anyway, guys, as usual, it's been a good show. What's TK saying? I watched every match from opening weekend. I can honestly say that Everton looked the worst aside from Sunderland. I'm surprised at that, TK. I thought Everton would have been decent. And Sunderland. Burnley, said TK. So I was thinking, didn't Sunderland win? Burnley, yeah. Burnley. I think Burnley will go back down, TK. What do you think, TK? I think they'll go back down. Everton looked bad. Everton looked worse than because when we played Leeds in pre-season, Leeds weren't that great. Jerry said Burnley, then Everton. So what are you guys saying? Burnley and Everton to go down. Is that what you guys are saying, yeah? We also need to look. Tomorrow we'll do the pre-match stuff. We'll look at the team, look at the injuries, look to see who's starting. I hope he starts Sesko and Cunha. We'll look at the Fantasy Football League, see who's doing what. We have a bit of fun tomorrow, man, rather than just going through the news. We just have a little fun. And we talk ball tomorrow, man, on tomorrow's show. Yeah, Leeds are all over toffees. They need Grealish, man. Burnley ain't going straight down. Yeah, Burnley are going straight down. Then after that, it's difficult. Oh, shoot. Because Burnley's been in the league a few years ago. Went down, now they're back up. We'll see. We'll see, guys. Anyway, what time is it? Nice time. 8:45, 1 hour. No, that's a lie. That's not 1 hour. 1 hour and a half. All right, not bad. I try to be, condensed, try to be quick. I know people got shit to do. I know you guys got shit to do. So big up everyone in the chat as always. We're talking about fantasies tomorrow before 9 p.m. Jerry's funny. Leeds was all over toffees like Wiz on a dozen jammy dodgers. Bro, jammy dodgers are sick, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. No. Someone just said to me that they'll be better if they had cream in them. Jammy Dodgers. No. Jammy Dodgers don't need cream, bro. Like, what you doing? That's some... Go to hell with that, man. Go to hell. How could you say Jammy Dodgers need cream in them? Bro. Nah, man. You can't say Jammy Dodger. They don't need no cream in the Jammy Dodger. It's perfect the way it is, man. Get the hell out of here, man. Get the hell out of here, man. Come on, man. Get the hell out of here. I think we'll beat Fulham, guys. I know, TK, you're a bit apprehensive, pessimistic, but I think we'll beat Fulham, guys. I'm going 3-1 against Fulham, but we'll talk about it tomorrow in the preview show. Strawberry custard cream. Yeah. Is that what you want, Jerry, in your Jammy Dodger? No, no strawberry. No, just leave the jam in the Jammy Dodger alone. Let's not add no cream in it. Let's not do this. Flipping it. What are we talking about here? We're having a deep talk about Jammy Dodgers, you know. Flipping heck. TK says 1-1 draw. I rebuke that. You know, in church, I rebuke that, TK. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. That spirit, that spirit of draw. That spirit of equality. Leave it there. We're going to smash them. We're going to smash them, bro. Don't worry. Don't worry, man. I'm going with 3-1. Fulham, get out of there, man. I'm going with 3-1. I think Mbumo's going to score. And I think Dorgu will score for some reason. I don't know what. Jerry says 2-1 United. Sesko and Cunha. I hope so. I hope so, because as everyone is pointing out, people, our new players, our 210s especially, they didn't score in pre-season and they didn't score in the first game. And the longer it goes without them scoring, the more pressure. You see how Cunha reacted? And Cunha was sitting on the floor. Cunha was slapping the floor and all these things. The longer it goes on, yeah, Cunha is very expressive. I don't know. We'll see. TK says, our chosen wisdom shirts to have Jammy Dodgers sponsor. I'm down for that. I'll contact them now. I'll be like, listen, you guys, I eat your biscuits. I eat at least a whole packet a day. And I'm going to eat them on stream. And I'm going to promote it. So you better give me some money. Yeah, man, I'll contact them. That's our shirt sponsors. It's Dodgy Jammers as well. Not Jammy Dodgers. You got to get it right. It's Dodgy Jammers. Anyway, people, big up the chat. Smash a like on exit and on entry. Don't forget my tactical analysis video. I want to push it. We're 492 still. So we've stalled a little bit in the last few days. Usually you get, 2 or 3 subscribers here or there when I do videos. We've been on 492 for about 2 days now. So we're still 8 away, people, from that magic 500. When I get that 500 subscribers, I'm like, yeah, 500. You got to start somewhere, man. 500 subscribers. Come on, mate. Oh, 493 now. Oh, 7 to go, people. 7 to go for 500. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Till next time. TK, Jerry, Turkish, big up yourself always. Adieri came in the chat. Shivam, Wendell, BB. Yeah, man. Big up everybody. Show my respects to the chat as always. Hold tight, everybody. Enjoy your Thursday evening, people. And hopefully tomorrow we will return. Friday is the last day before the weekend. And Monday is bank holiday over here in the UK. So tomorrow's show, like I say, we do the preview. We look at the team. We do all that other stuff, all the fun stuff. Do the fantasy football stuff and all that stuff. Stuff. And Stuffy, Max Stuff. Big up yourself, people, and I will see you